Hi everyone, welcome to another video. If you don't know who I am, my name is Katharine and I am going to be showing you a realistic week in my life while reading. I am a very slow reader. I just want to put that out there, so there's probably only going to be one book read in this video. A lot of other booktubers probably can read 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 books in a week. That's simply not me. I am the type of girl where, first of all, I'm a slow reader. Second of all, I have a full-time job. If you can't already tell, I'm at my work right now. I am a manager of a thrift store. It's my church's thrift store, to be exact. So I do work 40 hours here. I am able to have some downtime while I'm here. For example, if it's really slow here, we don't have a bunch of customers, or I'm in the sorting room right now and we don't have like a bunch of clothes to go through. All of the clothes that I've gone through that have been donated are obviously all hung up, and they just don't have rooms on the shelves in the flooring area for me to put it on. So really, I don't have much to do right now other than ring people out at the cash register. So in these times, I like to read. That doesn't negate the fact that I don't have much time to read, because I am oftentimes doing errands like grocery shopping or going to appointments. I'm here a lot of the time. I'm not just, twiddling my thumbs and doing nothing while I'm here. I'm sorting through clothes, I'm ringing people out, I'm supervising volunteers who serve here. And then I also like to exercise, go to the gym, run. I have friends, I like to go out and do things, so I don't spend all of my time reading, hence why I don't read one book a day. I do have a life outside of reading, but I do like to read when I do have free time. So one of those free times, like I mentioned before, is when I have downtime at work. So what I'll do is usually just bring my Kindle with me or a physical copy of a book. It doesn't really matter to me what one I prefer to bring to work or not. A Kindle is nice to have just because it's so lightweight and it's not bulky to carry around, but sometimes I like to have a physical book in my hand, if you know what I'm saying. So let me go ahead and start reading. The book that I am about to start, actually, because I just finished One True Loves by Taylor Jenkins Reid yesterday. I gave that a 4-star because although it wasn't my favorite book of all time, it definitely had some redeeming qualities about it. It definitely had some moments where it resonated with me in terms of relationships, not just romantic ones, but also relationships with friends, relationships with family, things of that nature. There was moments in the book where I was literally talking out loud saying, yes, that's correct, and I was like pointing at the page. So I definitely found some great moments in the book, and that's why I did give it a 4-star. But like I said, whenever I have a 5-star feeling, meaning I can't stop thinking about the book, I want to keep on picking it up, I can usually read the whole entire book in 1 sitting, 2 sittings, 3 sittings. It takes me practically no time to get through the book. That's usually what a 5-star feeling is for me. It simply didn't give me that, but I gave it a 4-star just because it was enjoyable and there were some great things in the book. Essentially, what the book is about, you can read this on the back of the book. I'm not giving any spoilers, but essentially, it's this girl. She's from Massachusetts, which for me is kind of cool to think about because I'm from Massachusetts and I know exactly where the town that they're talking about in the book. So she's from Massachusetts, okay? Acton, which is probably like a 45-minute drive from where I am. And she marries her high school sweetheart, moves out to California with him, goes to college in California out there with her boyfriend at the time, then gets married, lives out there. He gets in a helicopter accident and is presumably dead, okay? They find the remains of like the other people in the helicopter accident. So they think that he is dead as well. And then she moves on with her life thinking that her husband is dead. I think like 3 or 4 years goes by. She gets to a point where she has to get past a lot of the painful grieving that she's going through. So she ends up getting engaged to this other guy who she also used to go to high school with. And then they're literally about to get married, and then she finds out that her late husband is actually alive. He didn't pass away in the helicopter crash, but he's actually alive. He was literally just stranded out on some like tiny strip of land in the middle of the Pacific. So that's essentially what it's about. I'm not going to give any spoilers of like what happens after that. That's literally just what happens on the back of the book. You can like literally read what I just said to you. But I'm excited to start a new book. I'm going to start Love and Gelato by Jenna Welch. I just really like the cover of it. I think it's super summery, and it's still August, and I want to make sure that I'm holding on to the last bit of summer that we do have before it's fall. I am a summer girly. I do love summer. My birthday's in the summer. I just love the weather. I love the feeling of it being nice out and going to the beach and being able to do activities, things like that. Not that you can't do activities during the other times of the year, but here in New England, the winter is so harsh. It's so brutal, and essentially it's like half the year winter, and it's really, really nasty and cold and dark and gray and brown out, and I personally don't like doing things in that kind of weather. I know the snow can be pretty, but there's been winters where like we literally have gotten like no snow, so it's like literally just like bleak and disgusting out. And then I don't mind having snow like the week of Christmas. I literally don't mind. Give me a few inches, it looks pretty, but then like goodbye, you know? I don't want to be shoveling it. I don't want to be scraping ice off of my windshield. I don't want to be slipping all around the driveway. I don't like how the cold makes my nose feel, or how my toes feel, or my fingers feel. It just overall just, I can observe it from inside my house, okay? And then I will be good from there, you know? Just like the week of Christmas snow, from my window looking from my, you know, house, and then I would be all set, you know? And then goodbye snow. Goodbye. That's my spiel on winter. I'm not a big winter person. I really want to move back to Florida, actually. I'm gonna start reading Love and Gelato, and then we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck. Right off the bat, I'm already loving this book. I haven't even read a single word, but look how big the font is. It literally takes up so much space. That means this is probably going to be a quick read for me. I'm the type of person where I like short chapters in books because it makes it go by so much faster. I don't know if that's really true, if that makes sense, because a 350-page book is still a 350-page book, no matter if it has 30-page chapters or 5-page chapters. But for me, in my brain, I feel like when the chapters are shorter, once I get to the end of one chapter, I'm like, wait, that went by so fast. Let me read to the next one and read to the next one and read to the next one. Whereas like if I'm reading chapters that are like 30 pages long, I'm like, when's the end of this chapter? When's the end of this chapter? Like, when am I ever going to get to the end of this chapter? So I feel like when it has big font and small chapters, it makes the time go by so much faster, and it makes me want to keep on reading. So hopefully this has short chapters. Yeah, it looks like there are short chapters. It just looks like they're maybe around like 10 pages long, which isn't too bad. I've definitely read books where the chapters are longer. I'm trying to go through the Harry Potter series. Actually, right now I just finished reading not too long ago the Order of the Phoenix, which is the 5th Harry Potter book, and that had like 30-page chapters, or sometimes even 40-page chapters. And also that book is like, I think if I'm remembering correctly, like around 870 pages. I might be wrong, but it's around like that 800 mark, almost 900. It was brutal. I definitely enjoy Harry Potter and reading it because it helps me understand the movies better. Like growing up, I did not read the books. I only watched the movies, and I thought the movies were so confusing. That's why at 28, I'm now reading the books, because I feel like I missed out on that during my childhood. And also, now that I'm watching the movies after reading the books, I'm like, wait, now I get it. Like, the story makes sense to me. And the reason why the movies were so confusing to me is because they, first of all, had to cram in so much information into the movies where things feel rushed, and they also left a lot of stuff out. So, yeah, I'm really appreciating Harry Potter now. It's definitely like not a 5-star series for me. It's maybe like a 4-star series. I think if I had read it when I was younger, it probably would have been a 5-star series because of the nostalgia aspect of it, but it is good, and I am enjoying going through the series. I am trying to make it so that I'm not going back to back to back reading the Harry Potter books. I'm like spacing them out and only really reading them during the fall and winter seasons, and then I try to make sure that I'm reading 1 to 2 or 3 books at least, minimum, bare minimum, in between them, so that I'm not like burnt out reading all of those large Harry Potter books. But let me start reading this. So I just got about 79 pages through. I'm about 20% through the book according to Goodreads, and it's good so far. It's about a high school girl who moves to Italy with her dad, who currently lives there after her mom dies of cancer, and she had never met her dad or knew her dad before moving in with him in Italy. So it's just getting into the story now, and I can't wait to see what's next. I don't have any like major updates, and yeah, it's enjoyable so far. I kind of feel iffy reading about high schoolers because, being that I'm 28 years old, it kind of feels a little too young for me, but at least it's an easy read and I see myself getting through it pretty fast. But yes, I'm definitely enjoying it so far, and I definitely feel the Italian vibes coming from this book. They definitely describe the Italian scenery very well, and I can really picture it in my brain like a movie. But I should be back with more updates soon. Another day of work, another day of reading, and another outfit. So I'm going to continue reading Love and Gelato and see where the day takes me. I left on page 79, which is chapter 6, and I literally just plan on reading today at work because it's raining outside yet again, like it was yesterday, and it's summer. I feel like people don't really think to go to thrift stores in the summer. I feel like people are more concerned about being outside, especially around here, being so close to the ocean. People want to be by the beach and go to the beach. So it's just been like so slow just all summer. June, July, August has just been extremely slow. So it's been great for me because I get to read when I'm not sorting through donations or checking someone out at the register. But yeah, I'm not complaining. It's not a bad problem to have, but I am the type of person where I like when it's busy at work, but at the same time when it's not busy at work, I get to read. So yeah, like I said before, I can't complain. So let's go ahead and read while I'm here and see how far I get. I am a slow reader, as I've said before, but I literally got essentially 80 pages in yesterday over the course of just a few hours at work, and that's a big win for me. Okay, let's continue reading. The one thing that I'm noticing is that every few pages, the female main character is always mentioning how much she can eat and how hungry she always is because she's a runner. Like, I'm a runner and I do have an appetite for food, hence why I had gained 100 pounds and then lost 100 pounds. But, like, do you really have to mention it, like, every couple of pages? Like, we understand. You're a runner. You obviously love food. You're in Italy where there is good food. But, like, it's just kind of, like, repetitive and it's starting to get really annoying. Like, you don't have to mention every few pages, sometimes multiple times within a chapter, that you love food, or that you're hungry, or that you're a runner and you need to eat a lot, or that you eat fast, or something of that nature. Like, you can literally just say it once, or maybe twice, and then be done with it. I don't know if it's because this is considered a young adult book, and the writing is supposed to be, you know, meant for young readers, but yeah, that's just one thing I'm noticing about the book that I'm kind of getting annoyed with. But, like, other than that, it's pretty good. It is cute. It's taking place in Italy, and I do like the ambiance of it, and them, like, going out to eat at local restaurants and seeing the beautiful scenery and things like that of the Italian countryside. But, like, do you really have to mention food, like, every few pages? It's, like, not necessary. I just got out of work, hence why I'm in my car right now. I'm about to head home. I got to chapter 11 in Love and Gelato, which is about 43% of the way through the book, according to Goodreads. I'm on page 167, and it's good so far. Another thing that did annoy me, other than the food situation of them basically mentioning, like, every couple pages of how much she can eat because she's a runner. The other thing that really annoyed me was the fact that she didn't know what a cannoli or what gelato is. I am Italian American. I don't look it, but I am. And I also live near Boston, which has a big Italian American community. So I don't know if that also is the reason why I know what gelato and cannolis are. But, like, I feel like I've met people who aren't Italian and know what those things are. I've also lived in other parts of the country where there's not a large Italian American community, and they also know what gelato and cannolis are. So I don't know how this 16-year-old girl has never heard of what a cannoli or what gelato is. It just, like, baffles me. I understand it's a young adult book, but, like, at the same time, like, it's kind of unrealistic that she doesn't know what, like, certain foods are. I don't know. It just, like, kind of annoys me. It's, like, not something that I absolutely, like, hate in the book. Just like the other thing of them, like, mentioning, like, every few pages that she's into food. It, like, is not, like, infuriating for me to, like, make me hate the book, but it's, like, just slightly annoying where I'm like, that's really unrealistic, and also kind of young adultish for a book. Even if it's a young adult book, it is kind of stereotypical of a young adult book for them to mention those things, or to not mention those things, however you want to look at it. But yeah, that's kind of my update on the book. So I don't know if I completely summarized the book for you guys. I think I've slightly mentioned what the book is about. So essentially, this 16-year-old girl loses her mom to cancer, and she has to move to Italy, Florence exactly, and she's moving in to her dad's place. She never knew her father growing up, and he never knew that she was his daughter. So she goes to live with him, and apparently he lives like in a cemetery as like the groundskeeper, but it's like not a typical cemetery. It's like a World War II memorial cemetery, so it's not like an active cemetery, if that makes sense, but it's still creepy nonetheless. I would not want to live on a cemetery or even remotely near a cemetery at all. It just creeps me out to the max. This is all on the back of the book, by the way. This is no spoilers. And what I'm about to say is also not a spoiler. So essentially, her mom sends her a journal to Italy from when she was also in Italy and when the mom met her father. So this journal is supposed to like tell the daughter about her time in Italy while her daughter is also in Italy, which is kind of cool because she can then go see where her mom was during that time she was writing the journal. So I'm kind of like going through the story now of her like reading the journal and then going to the places that her mother wrote about in her journal, which is kind of cool. I really like the atmosphere. I think I mentioned that before. I really like how it really describes the Italian scenery and the different places that she's going in Italy, because it really makes me feel like I'm there. I definitely am enjoying the book other than those like few little annoyances. But yeah, I'm just about halfway through the book, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the half of the book is going to be. I honestly didn't realize how fast I was going to get through this book. It is around 350, almost 400 pages. So it is a bit longer than I would expect like a romance or fluffy novel to be. I almost like those books to be like 300 or less. But like, I honestly don't mind as long as it's enjoyable. I don't mind it being like slightly over 300 pages. As long as it's not like over 400 pages, 500 pages, I'm fine. But yeah, I can't wait to read the rest of that last half of the book. Another day, another outfit, another day working and managing my church's thrift store. I'm about to read some more of Love and Gelato today while I'm at work, and I'm excited to see how far I get through this book. Oh, this is the back of it. Like I was saying before, it's really cute and very atmospheric. I definitely feel like I'm there in Italy with our main character, but I do definitely feel like this is a young adult just by the way it's reading. It's definitely a little bit more on the young adultish side, if that makes sense, but I am enjoying it so far. I got to chapter 12 yesterday, page 167. I believe that's around 50% of the way through. I think 48% it says on Goodreads, but I can't wait to see where I get today. Hopefully I can get done with this by the end of this week. To close up the thrift store, I am gonna turn off the music, shut down all the lights, but I read about 4 chapters today from chapter, I believe 12 that I was on up until chapter 16. Let me double check. Yeah, I read up until chapter 16, so I'm on page 236, which on Goodreads is about 60% through, or a little over 60% through. I don't know if I mentioned this before, but the total amount of pages in this book is 386 pages, and I don't like when romances are over like 300 pages, but if they're a little bit over like this, as long as they're not over like 400 pages, I'm good. Because like I feel like once it hits like the 400 page mark, I'm like, you're just dragging it on at this point. But that's besides the point. I did make my way through a little bit more today. Not as much as I did previous days, but I did make my way through this, and I made a pretty sizable dent, for me at least, in a day. Because I do work full-time, like I said, at this thrift store as the manager. So it's hard for me to read unless like I'm out of work, but it's the summer. Not many people like to go thrift shopping in the summer, so they would much rather be, you know, at the beach, outside, doing things at the pool. I don't know what people do in the summer. Well, I know what I do in the summer. I like to be at the beach. So if I was not managing this thrift store, I would probably be at the beach all day, every day. So it's been pretty slow, so I have been able to read at work, which is nice. So that's what I've been currently doing. Like when I'm at home now, I haven't been doing much reading because like I feel like I'm trying to get into the groove of posting YouTube videos. So when I get home today, I probably am not gonna read. I'm probably just gonna edit videos. So, which is a good thing because like I'm trying to find a routine in making YouTube videos. So I've been reading at work and then editing when I'm at home, which isn't a bad thing, but it honestly just takes some time to get it into a routine of doing what I love, which is making YouTube videos and reading. So I just have to find a routine and a groove of how to best do both. So that's it from me today. I'll see you tomorrow. Hi, hello, good morning, or good afternoon, good evening, whenever you're watching this. Another day, another outfit, another day managing this thrift store. I am gonna continue reading today. Yesterday, after I left work, I did not read at all. Like I mentioned previously, I have been just really reading at work this week, not really when I'm at home, just because I'm getting in the rhythm of doing this whole YouTube thing, and I've been mostly editing videos when I get home at night and then reading while I'm here at work, just because it's been so slow this week. As I mentioned before, this summer at the thrift store has been super slow just because a lot of people probably want to be outside at the beach or doing different things because Lord knows 6 months out of the year, or possibly even more, here in New England, the weather is just like horrendous. It's dark, cold, rainy, brown, gray, and disgusting. So no wonder why people are not here in the thrift store. They want to be out doing fun things while the weather is still nice out. So I'm gonna continue to read Love and Gelato. Don't you like just love this book sleeve that I got? I'll try to tag the shop on Etsy that I got it from. I literally had to immediately get this as soon as I saw it on Etsy. It's literally so pretty. I love anything floral patterns, and it even has like this pocket where I can easily fit like a bookmark or my Kindle if I wanted to. I just personally love having a physical book rather than a Kindle. I just love the smell of them. I like the feel in my hands. It definitely makes me feel like I'm reading a lot faster when I'm reading a physical book because I can physically see how much more I have of the book or how far I've read already. But I do like the Kindle for some things, like when I'm at the beach or on an airplane traveling, just because it's so compact. But yeah, still reading Love and Gelato. I am currently on page 236, chapter 16. I want to get at least to page maybe like 300 today. Let's get to reading. I'm not gonna say what because that would give away spoilers, but essentially I thought this book was gonna be more about the romantic side, but I guess not. I just looked at the name Love and Gelato and thought that it was more of a romance book, especially because it's young adult. I thought it wouldn't be dealing with such heavy topics, but it is. I did read the back of the book, the summary, and it does obviously deal with a lot of heavy stuff like cancer and death and grief and all that. But at the same time, I thought because she's going to Italy and the name of the book is called Love and Gelato, that it would be more on the romantic side, but it's not. It feels like more like she's reading her mother's journal that was sent to her and then trying to track down certain areas and certain people and things like that. But like I said before, I have this prediction, but I don't want to give away any spoilers because, as I mentioned before, it feels like more of like a chase to find certain people and certain places that her mother wrote about in this journal that her mom sent to her. And she specifically is trying to search for this one person, and then I kind of have this theory about this one person, and if you know who this one person is in the journal. I hope and pray that it's not true what I'm thinking, because I really don't want this certain thing to happen. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now with the book and what I'm thinking. What else is really good about this book is that the font is really big, which is kind of stereotypical of a young adult book. But on top of that, there's like the journal entry parts of the main character's mom's journal, which the font is even bigger on that. And then it's also like super indented on the sides to make it look more like a journal entry. So I'm really surprised that I'm reading it this fast, but I think it's also because of the large font of the normal text and also the indented and big text of the journal entries. I'm like flying through this faster than I thought, which is good for me because I'm a slow reader. Y'all, my theory was true of what I was thinking about was gonna happen in this book, but I still have like 100 pages left of this book, and I thought that this thing was gonna be revealed like towards the end as like a plot twist. So I wonder what the rest of the book is about, seeing that I do have 100 pages left. So we'll see. So I just realized something. I have been reading about this girl. She's literally 16 years old, okay? I understand in Italy that things are a little different, like the drinking age and the culture and things, than America. But how is she at 16 years old going to a full-on club and also doing all of these other things on her own or with her other like 16-year-old friends? She just went on this train, this high-speed train from Florence to Rome by herself with this other friend that she has who's also, I think he's 17. It's just weird to me that they are doing these things by themselves. Like, at least in America, you have to be 18 to do things by yourself. Like, go on a train or, you know, even to sit at a bar. Even though you can't drink yet, like, you still have to be, like, I think 18, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe you have to be 21 to sit at a bar, but it's just really interesting to me and, like, off-putting that, like, she as a 16-year-old can do these things in Italy. If you guys know if she can legitimately do these things in Italy at 16 years old, like go off and do her own things without someone questioning her, like another adult, then like please let me know. Maybe it's just me as an American not knowing how Italy works, but like it just seems kind of weird to me. Like when I was 16 years old, yeah, like was I doing things on my own? Like did I get my license and like do things independently? But like at the same time I wasn't exactly 18 or 21 yet, so like I don't even think I understood like how trains worked, like the scheduling of trains. And I can't imagine like getting on a train by myself at 16 years old or like going to a club at 16 years old where there's like thudding club music, you know what I mean? So it baffles me that this 16-year-old in Italy is doing this stuff. When I was 16, I probably wouldn't even know what to have done in those situations. You know what's also baffling to me is not only is she 16 years old and going on a high-speed train from Florence to Rome with another 17-year-old boy, but she only met this 17-year-old boy like 5 days ago. How can you go from one major city to another major city in a completely foreign country that you've only been living in for not even a week yet with some other teenager who you've only met 5 days ago? I don't get it, because he's basically a stranger to you. Granted, this is a book, it's young adult. It's very stereotypical that this type of a scenario would happen, but at the same time, this wouldn't happen in real life. I feel like this would not happen in real life. Like, she's even letting him read her mom's journal, her little diary thing that she got from her mom. Like, you've only known the kid for 5 days. He's a stranger to you, and you're letting him read your mom's diary journal thing. It just kind of is weird to me. Now she's in love with this kid that she's only known for 5 days. I literally don't understand. I know it's a young adult book. I keep on saying that. I know it's a young adult book, and it's very stereotypical that this would happen. But you've only known him for 5 days, and you're 16 years old. All I wanted to do when I was 16 years old was drive around in my car and go to the beach. I didn't know what love was. I just wanted to get tan and get ice cream and hang out with my friends. But this girl is 16 and says she's in love with a guy after only knowing him for 5 days. I don't get it! So I just hit the 78% mark on Goodreads, which means I made it to chapter 22, page 304. And to be honest with you, I said this before, but I thought for some reason the romance in this book would be more forward, but it's more of like a subplot. Me and my blonde brain, because the title is called Love and Gelato, I thought the love part, and honestly the gelato part too, would be more forward. There is some sprinkles of love throughout this book, and sprinkles of, I guess you would say, gelato, because it does describe the Italian scenery really well. But like I mentioned before, it says here on the back of the book that her mom dies of cancer and she gets her journal, and it's basically just her running around seeing all these different places and meeting these different people that are mentioned in her journal. And I feel like, honestly, there is 386 pages in this book. That means I have around 80 pages left to finish, and I just read probably around 60, and it's 12:55 right now. So that means I read about 60 pages in about like 4 hours. To be honest, is kind of fast for me because A, I'm a slow reader, and B, I'm here at work, so it's not like I'm just sitting and reading. I'm helping customers check out, I'm organizing things, so it wasn't like I was strictly reading for 4 hours and only reading 60 pages. So when I am reading, do you know what I mean? Like, I am getting through this, so I feel like I can either finish this today, if not tomorrow. I'm gonna try to finish this by tomorrow. But yeah, it's definitely not like a 5-star read, maybe like a 3.5 to 4-star read as of right now, but like I said, I still have around 80 pages left, so we'll see. Like, why can't I just pick up a random fluffy romance novel? Why do I think that I can pick up these books and think that they're fluffy romance books? and they have some really deep stuff that they talk about. I just want to not think and read something that will make me feel good. Please give me recommendations of books that would actually just be fluffy and romance books, because that's what I'm needing in my life right now. I don't want to think, and I don't want to be saddened by these books that have such deep topics. So I ended up reading like another 40-ish pages. I'm on page 348, which is chapter 27, and I have about another 40-ish pages left, and I just checked, it's 2 more chapters. There's like one really long chapter left, which is like 30 pages, and then the last chapter is like 10 pages. I probably will end up finishing it tonight, but we'll see, because I don't have anything planned tonight. It's Friday night and then I have to work tomorrow. I'm gonna go ahead and probably finish it tonight, if not tomorrow. It's only like 40 pages, so I'm definitely gonna finish it by tomorrow, if not tonight. So I'm gonna check out here, and my next update will probably be me finishing the book. So as you can see, I am home. I turned on my YouTube background ambiance that you can see, and I'm gonna finish this book. I literally only have like 40 pages left, so let me lay in bed in my pajamas and read the rest of this book. I'm so excited to finish. I don't think I have read a book faster. No, actually I have, but this is one of the faster versions of me reading a book, because sometimes it can take me way longer than this. By Jenna Welch. Usually I like to give myself at least 24 hours in order to rate a book so that I can sit on my thoughts, but I felt ready to rate this. I don't know why, but lately I've been just feeling ready to rate books. I don't know if it's because I'm getting into like a reading rhythm and I know what I like and I don't like, but I'm giving this a 3.5 out of 5 stars. I did thoroughly enjoy this book. It definitely is a quick and fast read. It's very easy to understand. You don't have to go through any world building like you do in a fantasy book. It's definitely a young adult book. It has a lot of easy concepts. Her mom dies of cancer when she's 16 and she moves to Italy with her dad. She ends up meeting a boy, and then she also reads her mom's journal that ends up telling her a bunch of different places and people that she meets while she was there as a young woman. So it's kind of cool to see her daughter, so the main character in this book, go to the places and meet the people that she once met when she was a young woman. So I definitely enjoyed this book. I definitely recommend it. 3.5 stars isn't a bad rating. I would consider 3 like a middle average rating. So I definitely do recommend this. It's definitely a great filler read if you're looking for something in between heavier books. So definitely give this a read if you are in the market for something like this. And I guess this is the end of the vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. This is typically a week of me reading. It took me from Tuesday morning up until today, which is Friday night. So that's Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, 4 days. It took me 4 days to finish this book, but that's also after me basically reading like the majority of my work days. Like I told you before, I am a pretty slow reader. I always have been. And I also work a full-time job, so even when I do read at work. It's not like I'm just sitting there like all day reading. I have to check people out. I have to sort through donations that we have. And it's not like I have all the time in the world to read. So whenever I do have free time, I like to read because it's a big hobby of mine, obviously, as you can see the books behind me. If you want a bookshelf tour, just let me know and I can do that. My bookshelves are always changing. I'm always hauling books and de-hauling books. I'm always buying new books or giving books away to those free little libraries or to donation centers. So I can definitely do that for you. I can do a bookshelf tour soon if that's something that you guys would want. You just leave it down in the comments and I can do that. But like I was saying before, I don't have all the time in the world to read, so it's hard for me to read like a book a day. I know some people who do that, but it's just not in the cards in my life in order to do that because I don't have just a bunch of time to read. So it's pretty realistic for me to read just one book a week. I'll usually try to get some reading in during work or after work. So if you enjoyed this video, please let me know. Give this video a like and subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. Do all the YouTube things that you know how to do, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye now.